Welcome to my very first episode. Now before I get into this video, I feel I should give my background with the N64. It all started a long time ago when I went to stay at my grandparents' house for a week. I went downstairs and saw a game console with a big 3D N on the front. It had a total of 4 games next to it: Mario Kart, Pokemon Stadium, Iggy's Wrecking Balls, and Kobe Bryant's NBA Courtside. I asked my grandma if I could play and she said yes. So I popped in a game and turned on the console. I was blown away. There was something about the low-quality polygon graphics that appealed to me. This moment was what grew my love for the N64, and that's why I like it. Anyways, here's my first uploaded video. Today I'm going to list out my top 10 N64 racing games, so let's get started.
Number 10.
LEGO Racers was released in 1999. It was created by High Voltage Software and published by LEGO Media. It was also released on the PlayStation, PC, and Game Boy Color, but we want to focus on the N64 version. Despite having a low rating of only 4.6 by GameSpot, I still have a love for this game. But anyway, to the plot. You start out with 4 playable characters who are cool and all, but really I find myself going straight to the build mode and making my own characters. I actually find myself going here more often than I do the racing mode. Mainly it is because it is so fun creating your racer, which you can't always get from other racing games. Along with creating your own character and license, you can also create your car. However, this is a complete pain to do. Here's a rundown of what you have to do. First, you need to choose what type of brake you want to use. Then you want to find a spot where you can actually put it. Then repeat until it meets your expectations. It's so difficult that I find myself just going straight to the quick build. When you get to racing, you find it's basically like many other racing games. You chase around the other cars. While doing that, you run into certain power-up bricks found along the track, similar to Mario Kart. The thing I find cool is that if you run into a white brick after getting a power-up, the force, accuracy, and defense increases depending on which weapon you get. You can upgrade up to 3 times. The control isn't perfect, but it's still easy to work with. And the advantage is since LEGO really isn't a specific style of land, the stages are made up but have great variety.
Number 9.
Even though this game is at my number 9 spot, I still think it's a great game. The main reason I think it is because it was developed by everyone's favorite company, Rareware. When you first turn the game on, you get this wide shot of a random room with an N64 and controller. I love when games do this, put their own consoles in their games. But anyway, this game isn't any normal free-for-all game. It does have a storyline. The main story is that Pluto has been kidnapped by some random made-up Disney characters called the Weasels. All your friends are willing to help you get him back, including Pete. And in order to get Pluto back, you have to race your friends in many different areas. The items are really nothing too special, but occasionally they do help you get a place ahead. You have 3 different sections of tracks you can race at: Traffic Troubles, Motorway Mania, and Freeway Phobia. After a while, you notice that the game resembles Mario Kart a lot. The kart shape, the wobbly camera on the first turn of the first stage, and the benefits of the items. I think I see where they got their inspiration from.
Number 8.
Okay, am I watching a game intro or a TV car commercial? Like said in its own personalized theme song, this is Ridge Racer 64. It was developed in 2000 by Nintendo Software Technology and Namco. You know, the same company that brought you classics like Pac-Man and Dig Dug? Well, if not, then you sure will remember after playing only a few minutes of this game. Namco literally slapped their classic games all over this one. They can be found on the posters, on cars, in the music. You can even drive around as a Pac-Man ghost or a Puka. How cool is that? But what makes it even cooler is that you can change the color of your cars. So not only can you play as Blinky, you can play as Inky, Pinky, Sue, Clyde, and Stinky. There are only two problems I really have with this game. First, the control is too good. The tires have so much grip that you do make your turns, but then run right into the wall when it straightens out. This is a problem because it's not really fun to crash into the wall 10 times per lap. Despite having great graphics, the control unfortunately is what bumped this game into number 8. And second, who is the lady on the cover? In fact, not the cover, the entire game. She's all over the place, but who is she? Let's look it up. Well, I looked into it, and it turns out that she's the mascot of Ridge Racer.
3, 2, 1, go!
Number 7.
Again, like Ridge Racer, Cruisin' USA has its own theme song. And it's okay, but it's not perfect. Cruisin' USA was developed by Midway and Williams. When I first got this, I could not stop playing. After making it past the confusing menu controls, you'll find it has pretty appealing graphics. I mean, not as good as some other games on the N64, but it has a likable style to it. It almost looks like it could be an arcade game. Oh wait. You can start choosing from 4 cars, which over time will get upgraded, changing colors each time. At first, the only way you can race is by doing the Cruise the USA mode. Then, later, you'll start being able to choose the places you want to drive. There's a really odd thing that I noticed in this game, though. When you get to the Grand Canyon stage, you start out at the Grand Canyon, of course. But then, a few minutes later, towards the end of the track, you somehow end up at Mount Rushmore. I mean, I know it's a video game, but how could you possibly make it from Arizona to South Dakota in a matter of few minutes? Another funny thing about this game is that when you run into a random car on the road, you spin out of control, but the car you hit starts doing flips. Even the semi-trucks go all over the place. Sometimes I find myself doing this on purpose. Now, if you're a competitive gamer, I don't think you'd really be into this game since you can easily pass all the players right at the beginning, then just admire the track. But if you're in it for like the self-esteem of winning, go right ahead. Another thing is that there are random earthquake cracks in the middle of the freeway. The funny thing about this is that the other cars can go fast enough to jump it and just drop in and you can see them when you make it over. Either way, Cruisin' USA will always be a favorite of mine. However, it's not the favorite. We still have 6 more racing games to go.
Number 6.
Iggy's Wrecking Balls was made in 1998, and what? Now I know what you're thinking, this isn't a racing game. Well, really it is. A racing game doesn't always have to be a race between 2 cars. Like Dictionary.com says, a race is a contest of speed, running, riding, driving, or in this case, bouncing. Anyway, as I was saying, Iggy's Wrecking Balls was made by Acclaim and Iguana Entertainment. Now that's ironic. Now this to you is probably one of the weirdest N64 games you've ever seen. Robots, reptiles, and deformed humans mashed into the forms of balls whose only means of transportation is bouncing around or in some cases rolling. The only reason this isn't a weird game for me is because, like I said in the intro, it's one of the first games I played on the N64 I played. Now, just because I love this game doesn't mean that there's nothing I dislike about it. I do think the lighting could have been increased a little bit. Many of the stages are like you're riding at night or evening. Even the beach levels are too dark. Out of the 8 characters you start out with, the robot, or Robert, is my favorite. The one character I can't stand though is Charlie the annoying clown thing. I don't like him because he's so full of himself. He mocks you throughout the entire race. There is a clever aspect to the game. When you win, it plays this really catchy tune. But when you decide to play as a different character and win, it plays the same tune, but something sounds different. So you try some other characters and then it hits you. Each character has its own noise playing for the winning thing. Speaking of music, this game has the most amazing soundtrack. Every song in this, from the menu to the champion theme, just makes you want to dance.